There are moments in life that arrive unannounced, quiet and subtle, only to reshape everything in an instant. Change often comes when we least expect it, shifting the course of our journey in ways we never imagined. I never thought this would happen to me, not with my own stepson. But here I am, navigating emotions I am only now beginning to understand. My name is Sarah. I am a mother, a wife, and a woman who has known love, loss, and everything in between. But nothing in my past prepared me for Henry, my stepson. When I married his father, I expected the usual growing pains that come with blending families. I assumed we would develop a respectful bond, one built on care and mutual understanding. I never expected him to become such a profound part of my life, someone who would teach me lessons about love, not in a romantic way, but in a way that expands a heart beyond its limits. Henry was always different, not in any obvious way, but in the small, meaningful details. He was kind, thoughtful, and always had a gentle way about him. As the years passed, I saw him transform from a boy into a young man with a depth that surprised me. Our connection, once built on formality, deepened into something genuine, something neither of us could ignore. One evening, as his father was away for the weekend, we found ourselves in a quiet house. It was one of those nights where silence carries weight, filled with emotions left unspoken. I was reading while Henry absent-mindedly flipped through channels. And then, without warning, he put down the remote and looked at me, not as a child seeking approval, but as a person searching for understanding. "Mom," he said softly. His voice carried an emotion I couldn't quite place. There was something in his expression, a mix of hesitation and sincerity, a quiet acknowledgement of how much our relationship had grown. "I've been thinking a lot," he continued, "about us, about how things have changed over the years. And I want to thank you for everything." I felt a warmth spread through me, an overwhelming sense of gratitude. "Henry," I whispered, placing a hand over his, "you don't have to thank me. Family isn't about where we start. It's about where we choose to grow together." At that moment, I realized how much love could transcend expectations. It wasn't about roles or obligations. It was about connection, about truly seeing someone for who they are. Henry smiled, a quiet relief settling over him. "I just wanted you to know that you mean a lot to me," he said. And in that moment, I understood something profound. Sometimes, the most unexpected relationships become the most meaningful ones. I couldn't breathe. My body felt frozen, like I was standing at the edge of a cliff, staring into a vast unknown. My heart pounded, my thoughts tangled in a whirlwind of emotions I didn't want to face. But they were there, undeniable, real, and persistent. For months, I had pushed them aside, convincing myself they were nothing. Maybe I was just overthinking, or perhaps it was loneliness creeping in. But now, as Henry stood before me, his eyes searching mine for an answer, I knew I had to face the truth. "Henry, this isn't right," I whispered, my voice barely holding steady. He shook his head, his voice urgent. "I know what it means, but I can't stop feeling this way. And I don't think you can either." His words hung in the air, raw and vulnerable. "I'm not asking for anything, just the truth. Do you feel it too?" The room seemed to shrink around me. A wave of emotions crashed over me. Confusion, fear, and something else I couldn't quite name. I wanted to deny it, to tell him he was mistaken, that it was nothing more than a fleeting moment. But deep down, I knew our relationship had changed, not into something forbidden, but into something deeper. I took a slow, steadying breath. "Henry, you are family. And family is built on love, but the kind that lifts us up, not the kind that leads us down a path we shouldn't take. What we have is something special, something that doesn't need to be questioned or changed." His eyes flickered with emotion, but he nodded, understanding settling between us. "I just needed to know," he whispered. The next morning, I woke up with a sense of peace I hadn't expected. I made breakfast, smiled, and carried on, knowing that everything had changed, but in a way that made us stronger, not weaker. Weeks have passed, and though there are still quiet moments between us, they are filled with understanding, not tension. We have moved forward, both of us learning an important lesson. Love comes in many forms, and the truest kind is the one that respects protects, and nurtures. Some emotions are fleeting. Some challenges test our strength. But the most powerful thing we can do is choose the right path. And in that choice, we find not just ourselves, but the kind of love that truly lasts.